There have been more than 2,500 incidents of a wave of violence against elderly Asian Americans.
An 84-year-old man has died after a horrific daytime attack in San Francisco's Anza Vista neighborhood.
Despite the increasing coverage by the media, hate crimes have still skyrocketed. The Department of Justice defines a hate crime as using or threatening to use force to willfully interfere with any person because of race, color, religion, or national origin. In other words, a hate crime can be classified as any normal crime motivated by discrimination. Hate crimes against Asian Americans have occurred in the United States since the 19th century, but plateaued and declined over time as the country went through cultural changes. This begs the question, why has discriminatory behavior towards Asians recently increased? To understand the vast number of hate crimes and how long they've been going on, let's create a timeline starting in January 2020.
A major cause for this recent spike can be attributed to the outbreak of COVID-19 in the United States. The first wave of hate came as soon as COVID hit. In February of 2020, when there were only 15 cases of COVID in the United States, a 16-year-old Asian American boy in California's San Fernando Valley was sent to the emergency room after bullies attacked him at school. A month later, a 19-year-old in Texas stabbed a Burmese father and his 2 children, aged 2 and 6, at Sam's Club. The man claimed that he stabbed the family because they were Chinese and infecting people with the coronavirus.
When the nationwide shutdown occurred in March, the FBI warned that hate crimes among the Asian American community would grow. It was the last straw for the community when a 90-year-old Chinese woman was set on fire in New York over the summer. More than 100 protesters gathered together at Washington Square Park to speak out against the violence and urge law enforcement to investigate the incident as a hate crime. The protesters marched for 2 miles, demanding justice and condemning racism, chanting, "When grandma is attacked, we stand up and fight back." More protests were held later in the year in Los Angeles and San Francisco to fight back against the hatred towards the Asian American community.
The police did not identify many of these cases as hate crimes, which initiated a petition started by Don Lee, the board chair of Homecrest Community Services. The petition demanded the NYPD and Brooklyn District Attorney to classify and investigate these crimes as hateful, and for lawmakers to pass legislation in hopes of protecting all communities against hate crimes.
The petition received more than 37,000 signatures within a week. By the end of 2020, the NYPD reported a 1,900% increase in hate crimes toward Asian Americans. It's been a year since these initial incidents, and despite the protests, hate crimes have only gotten worse, with assaults targeting older Asians. In addition to the deadly incident in San Francisco, the Bay Area alone has seen a 52-year-old woman shot in the head with a flare gun, a 64-year-old Vietnamese woman robbed while trying to shop for Lunar New Year gifts, and a 91-year-old man pointlessly shoved to the ground, all since January of this year.
Despite growing adversity, the Asian American community has joined hands to call for change and speak out against hate. Though the media was slow in reporting these incidents, the Asian American community was quick to respond. People around the country grieved, and petitions began to trickle in.
Asian American celebrities such as Olivia Munn and Gemma Chan have used their platforms to bring awareness to these incidents. Actors Daniel Wu and Dae Kim have gone so far as to offer an award to whoever finds information about an attack that happened in Oakland.
X-Men Apocalypse actress Olivia Munn has spoken out against the discrimination, calling, quote, to stop Asian hate. In one specific post, she said, quote, "Over the past few days, I found myself at a loss for words at the rise of anti-Asian hate. The racist, verbal, and physical assaults have left my community fearful to step outside. These hate crimes have spiked since COVID and continue to increase even though we ask for help, even though we ask for our fellow Americans to be outraged for us, even though we ask for more mainstream media coverage." She concluded with, "To simply exist as a minority in this country is seen as a protest to some.
This is not just a concern for the Asian American community, but also should be a concern for society as a whole. The media needs to have fair and unbiased coverage of these hate crimes to prevent further violence. The media needs to have more voices from the Asian American community."
We hope this video will help raise awareness of the drastic increase of hate crimes to the Asian American community.
If you like this video, please consider supporting Asian American News Network by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and following us on Instagram.